His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received the Italian ambassador to the kingdom, Andrea Catalano. His Majesty welcomed the Italian ambassador and was briefed about the progress of the close bilateral ties, various aspects of cooperation and joint work, and means to further develop them in a manner that serves the mutual interest of the two countries and their people. His Majesty highlighted the depth of the long-standing partnership between the two countries, as well as the shared keenness and ongoing efforts to develop it across various domains. His Majesty commended the ambassador's ongoing constructive efforts to support and strengthen these ties, wishing him success. The meeting also reviewed regional and international developments, particularly the recent developments in the region, in addition to issues of common interest. Ambassador Catalano expressed his thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King for his role in the continued growth and prosperity of ties between the two countries and in advancing the level of their cooperation that achieves mutual benefit. He also reiterated his country's condemnation of the blatant Iranian attacks on the territory of Bahrain and its solidarity and standing alongside Bahrain in all measures it takes to safeguard its sovereignty, security and stability, and to ensure the safety of its citizens. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received the newly appointed members of the Board of Directors of the Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry, BCCI, chaired by Nabil Khalid Kanu. His Majesty the King underscored the importance of the vital roles played by the BCCI in supporting and developing the commercial and industrial sectors as an active partner in the kingdom's economic progress. His Majesty congratulated the members on the confidence of the commercial and industrial sectors, commending the contribution of the previous board and the Chamber's historical role in developing the national economy since its establishment in 1910. His Majesty the King affirmed support for the commercial and economic community to continue its contributions to development plans, emphasizing the importance of concentrated efforts to preserve national gains and strengthen the national economy. His Majesty also praised the efforts of the former BCCI Board of Directors, chaired by Samir Nas, for their services to the commercial sector and their contribution to strengthening and advancing the kingdom's economic progress. His Majesty said that Bahrain had faced circumstances and events that were foreign to it. Yet, thanks to Allah, the kingdom successfully overcame this phase. This brought joy and reassurance to citizens who were able to resume their lives with confidence and peace of mind. His Majesty praised the solidarity of the people of Bahrain, their unity behind their leadership, and their great trust in the brave men of the Bahrain Defense Forces and their high state of readiness. His Majesty affirmed that with Allah's help, Bahrain will always remain a haven of security and stability, steadfastly continuing its blessed progress through the unity and devotion of its people in serving their nation. His Majesty prayed to Allah the Mighty to protect Bahrain and its people from all harm and to bless the kingdom with further security, stability, progress and prosperity. His Majesty emphasized that all citizens will be compensated for the losses occurred to their properties as a result of the hostile Iranian attacks against the Kingdom of Bahrain and countries of the region, which targeted civilians, facilities and civil infrastructure within the framework of keenness to safeguard citizens' rights and mitigate the impact of these attacks. For his part, Kanu expressed his sincere thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King for his continued support, affirming that the Chamber's continued implementation of its programs and its role in strengthening the private sector's contribution to advancing economic development in the kingdom. The chairman and members of the Board of Directors of the BCCI expressed their thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King for the draft law to pay the salaries of insured Bahrainis in the private sector companies, in addition to launching a program to defer laws and provide liquidity to support the kingdom's economy and financial sector. They commended His Majesty the King's keenness to support the economic and commercial progress in Bahrain. The representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Works and Youth Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, patronized closing ceremony of the 5th edition of the national project Lama in the presence of the Vice President of the Supreme Council for Environment, Deputy Chairman of the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club, High Committee, and member of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, His Highness Sheikh Faisal bin Rashid Al Khalifa. The Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Ayman Al Maiyad, the Minister for Youth Affairs, Rawan Tawfiqi, representatives of supporting organization, and a select group of young people from the Lama program. His Highness affirmed that Bahrain, under the leadership of His Majesty the King, pursues a strategic approach based on investing in young people. His Highness praised the support of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister in empowering Bahraini youth. His Highness hailed the high level demonstrated by the participants, commending their ability to navigate interact stages and specific challenges designed to test intellect before skill and commitment before performance, affirming that their achievement reflects a commendable model of Bahraini youth capable of competing and making an impact. His Highness noted that the program redefines the strength of Bahraini youth and a model for preparing a generation capable of critical thinking, decision making, and taking responsibility. The ceremony began with a speech by the chairwoman of Lama Association, Sheikh Dhawa bint Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, in which she affirmed that since its launch in 2021, Lama has evolved from an idea into an integrated system for leadership development. She noted that the rapid growth in the number of applicants and the expansion of local and international partnerships, which strengthened the program's regional and global standing. At the conclusion of the ceremony, His Highness honored the strategic partners, the graduates of the 5th cohort, along with the winners, Taqi Abdullah from Babco Energies, Ahmed Mubarak from the Bank of Bahrain and Kuwait. The 5th edition of Lama saw exceptional demand with over 1,000 applicants and an acceptance rate of just under 2%, reflecting the high level of competition. The representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, participated in the first round of the late Sheikh Abdullah bin Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa 5th golf tournament held at the Royal Golf Club. His Highness participation underscores his keenness to play golf and reflects his support and encouragement of the participants to perform their best. On the occasion, His Highness affirmed that holding the 5th edition of the tournament signifies gratitude for the outstanding contributions made by the late Sheikh Abdullah bin Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa in supporting the sports sector and golf in particular. His Highness praised the efforts made by the organizing committee, emphasizing that the excellent organization and outstanding atmospheres played a major role in the success of the tournament's first round. The first round of the tournament was held under the 9-hole format. The final round will take place next week, which is expected to see even more excitement and competition among the participants as they vie for the top spots. The General Command of the Bahrain Defense Forces announced that through the unwavering vigilance of its personnel, the BDF air defense system continued to successfully counter successive waves of the hostile terrorist Iranian aggression. Since the onset of hostilities, air defense have intercepted and destroyed 194 ballistic missiles and 523 drones targeting the Kingdom of Bahrain. The General Command expressed its pride in exceptional combat readiness and vigilance demonstrated by BDF personnel and commended their sustained operational effectiveness in defending the kingdom. The performance of Bahrain's forces continue to inspire confidence that the kingdom's skies remain secure. The General Command urged all members of the public to exercise the utmost caution for their personal safety. Citizens and residents are advised to keep clear of affected areas and any suspicious objects, refrain from filming or photographing military operation or debris sites, avoid spreading unverified information, and consult only official and government media channels for update, alerts, and advisory. The General Command further emphasized the use of ballistic missiles and drone attacks to target civilian areas and private properties constitutes a flagrant violation of international humanitarian law and the United Nations Charter. These indiscriminate attacks represent a direct threat to regional peace and security. In the following report, the General Command of the Bahrain Defense Forces reviews in a briefing with figures the successes of the protectors of the homeland and the BDF in defending the skies, waters and lands of Bahrain against the hostile Iranian aggression.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن ينصركم الله فلا غالب لكم. نحمد الله تعالى ونشكره على هذا النصر الوطني المؤزر، ونسأله سبحانه أن يديم علينا وعلى وطننا العزيز نعمة الأمن والأمان. نتوجه ببالغ الشكر وعظيم التقدير إلى مقام سيدي حضرة صاحب الجلالة ملك البلاد المعظم القائد الأعلى للقوات المسلحة حفظه الله ورعاه، وإلى سيدي صاحب السمو الملكي ولي العهد نائب القائد الأعلى للقوات المسلحة رئيس مجلس الوزراء حفظه الله، وإلى سيدي صاحب المعالي القائد العام لقوة دفاع البحرين حفظه الله. فبعون الله تعالى ثم بفضل رؤيتهم الحكيمة ودعمهم المستمر تقف قوة دفاع البحرين دائما وأبدا برجالها البواسل وعتادها المتطور صرحا شامخا بسلاحه، أمينا على رسالته السامية، تحرس المملكة بعين اليقظة وتفتدي ثراها بأرواح رجالها الأوفياء برؤية ملكية ذات بعد استراتيجي وطني شمخت شهب رماح البحرين ودرع البحرين وصقور حمد في وجه الصواريخ ومسيرات الغدر الإيراني، وتقدمت ألويتها نحو المجد والإنجاز، وارتفعت بيارقها نحو الشموخ لتظل أيام المملكة كلها أمن واستقرار ورخاء وازدهار. هكذا ستظل قوة دفاع البحرين دائما زاخرة بالعطاء المتدفق لأداء واجبها الوطني المقدس. منذ بدء العدوان الإيراني الآثم بلغ إجمالي الاعتداءات 194 صاروخا و523 طائرة مسيرة كانت تستهدف الأعيان المدنية والممتلكات الخاصة في المملكة. مملكة البحرين اليوم أكثر قوة ومنعة، ويسعدها أن تحتفي بهذا النصر الوطني المؤزر الذي سطرته سواعد أبطالها البواسل. فالدفاع عن حياض الوطن أمانة مقدسة ومسؤولية عظمى تورثناها جيلا بعد جيل من الرجال المخلصين الذين نذروا أنفسهم للذود عن ثرى وطنهم العزيز والمحافظة على أمنه وصون استقراره ليبقى الوطن شامخا مرفوع الهامة عزيزا عصيا على كل معتد. إن المحافظة على هذه المسؤولية الوطنية وحمل عظيم الأمانة في أعناقنا تتطلب منا جميعا جهدا مضاعفا ويقظة دائمة ومزيدا من التفاني والبذل والإخلاص والتضحية وفاء لمملكتنا الغالية وقيادتها الحكيمة. شهد العالم أجمع ذروة الانسجام الأخوي والتكامل الدفاعي بين دول مجلس التعاون لدول الخليج العربية الذي جاء تجسيدا لرؤى وتوجهات أصحاب الجلالة والسمو قادة دولنا حفظهم الله ورعاهم، حيث شكلت جيوش دول مجلس التعاون لدول الخليج العربية الدرع المنيع والحصن الحصين لكافة دولنا الشقيقة. إن قواتنا المسلحة ستظل دائما قوة خير وأمن وسلام تذود عن الحق وتحمي المكتسبات، ولله الحمد والمنة، وبفضل ثباتنا ويقظتنا وقفنا صفا واحدا كالبنيان المرصوص لدحر وإحباط الاعتداءات الإيرانية الغادرة. ونحن إذ نقف اليوم فخرا أمام هذا الإنجاز العسكري الوطني لا يسعنا إلا أن نرفع أسمى آيات الشكر والثناء وعظيم العرفان إلى الرجال البواسل الذين نذروا أنفسهم وجادوا بجهدهم لخدمة ملكنا المعظم قائدنا الأعلى ووطننا المعطاء في قوة دفاع البحرين وكافة الأجهزة العسكرية والأمنية في الحرس الوطني ووزارة الداخلية والجهات المعنية الأخرى. لقد اكتملت فصول هذه الملحمة الوطنية بتجلي أبهى صور التلاحم الشعبي حول راية الوطن وقيادته الحكيمة، حيث غدا الجميع حصنا منيعا وجبهة واحدة صلبة في مشهد تاريخي يجسد روح المسؤولية الوطنية ويرسخ أسمى قيم الولاء والفداء والمحبة لثرى البحرين الغالي. إن الجميع لا يفخر بما يظهره رجال البحرين في كافة الأجهزة العسكرية والأمنية. ربي اجعل هذا البلد آمنا.
Representative Council Speaker Ahmed Al-Msallam hailed the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister on taking the necessary legal and constitutional step to submit a draft law to cover the payment of April salaries of Bahrainis insured in private sector companies from the Unemployment Insurance Fund. Al-Msallam also praised His Royal Highness directives on directing the Central Bank of Bahrain to launch a program to defer loans and provide liquidity support measures for the economy and financial sectors. Al-Msallam said the directive supports Bahraini citizens and the private sector, boosts financial and banking stability, and help protect national employment and economic activity. He added that the directives aim to maintain living stability, reduce negative impacts on citizens and private sector institution, ease pressure on businesses and support the stability of the local market, contributing to the sustainability of economic activity in Bahrain. Al-Msalem said that the directives are in line with proposals submitted by the Council to the government, reflecting constructive cooperation between the legislative and executive authorities in the interest of the nation and its citizens. Shura Council Chairman Ali Saleh welcomed the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, which include taking the necessary legal step to submit a draft law to pay April salaries of Bahrainis working in private companies through the Unemployment Insurance Fund, to support the private sector, protect national job and sustain the economy. He also noted the directive to the Central Bank of Bahrain to launch a program to defer loans and provide liquidity support measures for the economy and financial sector. Saleh commended these proactive steps, affirming that these measures show strong national unity between the leadership and the people in facing challenges. He confirmed that the Shura Council's support for the initiative and its readiness to prioritize the decision of the draft law once submitted. He added that the Council supports any steps that help secure a decent standard of living for citizens and enable them to manage economic challenges with continuing development. Following the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, the Central Bank of Bahrain announced the launch of a loan deferral and liquidity support program, including a set of measures to support Bahrain's economy and the financial sector. More in this report.
In line with the Kingdom of Bahrain's commitment to promoting economic stability and in accordance with the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, the Central Bank of Bahrain announced the launch of a loan deferral and liquidity support program, which includes a range of measures aimed at supporting the Kingdom of Bahrain's economy and strengthening the stability of the financial sector. Retail banks and financing companies will offer customers the option to defer loan installments and credit card payments, including principal and interest, for 3 months, with the deferral option applicable to both individuals and corporates. These institutions will have the flexibility to postpone the classification of loans for affected customers with a total value of domestic loans at 11.3 billion Bahraini dinars. For a period of 6 months, the Central Bank of Bahrain will provide retail banks unlimited Bahraini dinar liquidity against eligible collateral, currently 7 billion Bahraini dinars. In addition, the repo facility will be extended to 3 months. Reserve requirements will be reduced from 5% to 3.5%. The minimum liquidity coverage ratio and net stable funding ratio will be reduced from 100% to 80%, which should release additional liquidity into economy sectors. In light of these efforts, the financial sector continues to perform effectively, while closely monitoring current developments and taking further measures as necessary to maintain monetary and financial stability and to ensure the continuity of sustainability of financial services in the Kingdom of Bahrain.
The directive of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to pay the salaries of Bahrain insured employees in private sector companies for the month of April reflects the government keenness to support the private sector and preserve national employment in order to advance the course of economic activities. More in this report.
During a cabinet meeting, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister directed that the necessary legal and constitutional procedures to be taken to submit a draft law to the Unemployment Insurance Fund to cover the salaries of insured Bahraini employees in private sector companies for the month of April in support of the private sector. This generous directive reflects the vision of His Majesty the King to prioritize the well-being of Bahraini citizens and families by launching practical initiatives that enhance living standards and alleviate economic challenges. This step demonstrates the government's commitment to strengthening the stability of the private sector while also safeguarding national jobs, thus ensuring the sustainability of the local market and maintaining the balance across various sectors. Ensuring the stability of citizens' lives and meeting their needs remains a top national priority. Solidarity and cooperation between the public and private sectors are essential to overcoming these exceptional circumstances and moving towards a more prosperous and stable future.
The Minister of Finance and National Economy released the Bahrain Economic Report for the year 2025, on its website, according to preliminary national accounts data released by the Information and E-Government Authority. Bahrain's GDP at constant price grew by 3.5% in the year 2025, driven by a 4.1% growth in non-oil activities, while oil activities declined slightly by 0.3%. At current prices, GDP increased by 3.7%, supported by a 5.3% growth in non-oil activities, offsetting a 5.7% decline in the oil sector. The report highlights the pivotal role of non-oil activities, which contributed 85.8% to GDP at constant prices during 2025. Bahrain continues to achieve significant progress across a number of international economic and developmental indicators, reflecting the success of its economic diversification strategies and enhancement in business environment. Bahrain ranked first globally in e-commerce legislation in the Network Readiness Index 2025, published by the Portland's Institute. The kingdom also secured the third spot globally in the business incentives pillar as per the Innovators Business Environment Index 2026 released by Startup Link. Additionally, the kingdom maintained a Group A classification in the GovTech Maturity Index 2025 issued by the World Bank Group, ranking 15th globally out of 197 countries.